Abandoned puppy no one wanted. Then he found a grumpy cat and it changed the sanctuary forever. The rusted sign creaked in the gentle breeze, its faded paint proclaiming Whispering Pines Animal Sanctuary to the quiet country road. Nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering pines, the sanctuary was a haven for lost and forgotten creatures, a place where broken spirits found solace and second chances. It was here, on a crisp autumn afternoon, that Kylo, a bundle of golden fur and boundless energy, first set his paws. Martha, the sanctuary's founder and a woman whose heart was as vast as the surrounding wilderness, knelt down to greet the newcomer. "Well, hello there, little fella," she cooed, her voice as warm as the worn denim jacket she wore. Kylo, a Labrador retriever puppy barely 8 weeks old, responded with a flurry of excited yips and playful nips at her outstretched hand. He had been found abandoned by the side of a highway, a tiny castaway in a world too big for him. The local shelter, already overflowing with unwanted animals, had reached out to Martha, knowing she had a soft spot for the underdogs, or in this case, the underpuppies. Martha led Kylo through the gate and into the sanctuary's sprawling yard. A chorus of barks and meows greeted them, a symphony of animal voices that spoke of resilience and hope. Dogs of all shapes and sizes romped in the fenced enclosures, while cats lounged on sun-drenched windowsills or stalked through the tall grass, their eyes gleaming with an independent spirit. Kylo, oblivious to the curious stares directed his way, was captivated by his new surroundings. He tugged at his leash, eager to explore every nook and cranny of this fascinating place. Martha chuckled, her heart swelling with affection for this exuberant little creature. "Easy there, Tiger," she said, gently guiding him towards the main building. "Let's get you settled in." The sanctuary's main house was a rambling, cozy structure that had once been a farmhouse. Its rooms were now repurposed to accommodate its furry residents. A spacious cat room with climbing trees and cozy napping spots, a dog dormitory with rows of comfortable beds, and a sunny infirmary where sick or injured animals received care. Martha led Kylo to a small, quiet room off the main hallway. "This will be your temporary den," she explained, setting down a soft blanket and a bowl of fresh water, "just until we figure out where you'll fit in best." Kylo, however, seemed less interested in his new accommodations and more interested in the curious faces peering at him from the doorway. A trio of cats, each with their own distinct personality, had gathered to inspect the newcomer. There was Cleo, a sleek black cat with emerald eyes, who exuded an air of regal indifference. Next to her stood Patches, a ginger tabby with a mischievous glint in his eyes, his tail twitching with playful anticipation. And finally, there was Luna, a timid calico who clung to the shadows, her wide, amber eyes filled with apprehension. Kylo, ever the social butterfly, bounded towards them, his tail wagging furiously. Cleo, with a disdainful flick of her tail, retreated to the safety of a high shelf. Patches, however, was intrigued. He lowered himself to the ground and approached Kylo with cautious curiosity, sniffing the air tentatively. Luna, emboldened by Patches's boldness, crept closer, her ears pricked with interest. Kylo, sensing her hesitation, lowered himself to the ground and rolled onto his back, exposing his soft belly in a gesture of submission. Luna, unable to resist the invitation, crept forward and tentatively touched his nose with her own. A purr rumbled deep within her chest, and Kylo responded with a happy yip. It was the beginning of a beautiful friendship, the first of many that would blossom within the walls of Whispering Pines. Martha, watching from the doorway, smiled. She had a feeling that Kylo was going to fit in just fine. Kylo's arrival sent ripples of excitement through the feline community at Whispering Pines. The sanctuary was home to a diverse array of cats, each with their own unique personality and backstory. Some were playful and outgoing, eager to make new friends. Others were shy and reserved, content to observe from a distance. And then there were the truly independent spirits, the feral cats who had known hardship and were slow to trust. Over the next few days, Kylo embarked on a mission to charm them all. He approached each encounter with the same boundless enthusiasm, his tail wagging like a flag in a hurricane. He would lower himself to the ground, offering a playful bow or rolling onto his back in a gesture of vulnerability. Most of the cats responded with cautious curiosity, sniffing him tentatively before deciding whether to engage in play or retreat to a safe distance. Cleo, the elegant black cat, remained aloof, observing Kylo's antics from her perch atop the highest bookshelf. She had been at the sanctuary the longest, a regal queen who ruled her domain with a quiet dignity. She had seen countless animals come and go, and she wasn't easily impressed. Kylo, with his boisterous energy and relentless affection, was a puzzle she wasn't quite ready to solve. Patches, the ginger tabby, was a different story. He was a born entertainer, always ready for a game or a chase. He and Kylo quickly became partners in crime, their days filled with mock battles and playful chases through the tall grass. Patches, with his lightning-fast reflexes and acrobatic skills, was a worthy opponent, and Kylo, with his boundless energy and tenacious spirit, was always up for the challenge. Luna, the timid calico, remained wary. She had been rescued from a hoarding situation, and the trauma of her past had left her fearful of human touch. She would watch Kylo from a distance, her amber eyes wide with apprehension. But Kylo, with his gentle nature and unwavering patience, slowly began to chip away at her fear. He would lie quietly beside her, offering a comforting presence without demanding attention. He would bring her small gifts, a fallen leaf or a discarded feather, hoping to entice her into play. One afternoon, as Luna was sunning herself on a windowsill, Kylo approached with a small, squeaky toy in his mouth. He dropped it at her paws, then sat back and waited, his tail wagging hopefully. Luna, intrigued by the colorful object, tentatively reached out and batted it with her paw. The toy squeaked, and Luna jumped back in surprise. But Kylo, sensing her fear, gently nudged the toy closer, encouraging her to play. Luna, emboldened by his gentle encouragement, batted the toy again, this time with more confidence. A playful glint entered her eyes, and a soft purr rumbled in her chest. Martha, observing this interaction from the doorway, smiled. Kylo, with his infectious enthusiasm and gentle spirit, was proving to be a true ambassador of goodwill, bridging the gap between species and helping to heal the wounds of the past. He was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always room for joy, connection, and love. While Kylo reveled in the companionship of the playful Patches and slowly gained the trust of the timid Luna, there was one cat who remained resolutely unimpressed: Jasper. A magnificent Maine Coon with fur the color of burnished copper and eyes like molten gold, Jasper was a creature of solitary habits. He preferred the company of his own thoughts to the hustle and bustle of the communal cat room. He was a stoic observer, a silent guardian who watched over the sanctuary from the shadows. Jasper had arrived at Whispering Pines a year earlier, a stray who had been found wandering the woods, emaciated and wary. He bore the scars of a difficult life: a torn ear, a missing patch of fur, a deep distrust of human touch. Martha had patiently nursed him back to health, providing him with food, shelter, and the space he needed to heal. But even after months of gentle care, Jasper remained aloof, a solitary figure who seemed to carry the weight of the world on his broad shoulders. Kylo, however, was undeterred by Jasper's aloofness. He saw something in the Maine Coon's golden eyes, a flicker of vulnerability beneath the stoic facade. He was determined to break through Jasper's defenses, to offer the same unconditional love and companionship he had offered to the other cats. His initial attempts were met with indifference. Jasper would simply ignore Kylo's playful advances, turning his back or retreating to a high shelf. But Kylo, with his unwavering persistence, refused to give up. He would follow Jasper on his solitary walks through the sanctuary grounds, keeping a respectful distance but offering a comforting presence. He would leave small gifts at the entrance to Jasper's favorite hiding spot: a discarded bird feather, a shiny pebble, a fragrant pine cone. One evening, as a storm raged outside, rattling the windows and shaking the old farmhouse to its core, Kylo sensed a shift in Jasper's demeanor. The usually stoic cat seemed agitated, pacing restlessly and letting out low, anxious growls. Kylo, sensing his distress, approached cautiously, offering a soft whine of concern. Jasper, startled by Kylo's presence, hesitated. Then, to Kylo's surprise, he did something he had never done before. He rubbed his head against Kylo's leg, seeking comfort in the puppy's warm fur. Kylo, sensing the trust that had been offered, responded by gently licking Jasper's head, offering a silent promise of protection and companionship. As the storm raged outside, the two unlikely companions curled up together in a quiet corner of the cat room. Jasper, for the first time since arriving at the sanctuary, felt a sense of peace and security. Kylo, with his unwavering loyalty and unconditional love, had broken through the walls that had surrounded Jasper's heart. A bond had been forged, a bond that would prove to be as strong and enduring as the storm raging outside. Life at Whispering Pines Animal Sanctuary was a symphony of barks, meows, and the gentle murmur of human voices. It was a place where every day brought new challenges and rewards, where the rhythms of nature intertwined with the unwavering dedication of those who cared for the animals. Martha, with her tireless energy and boundless compassion, was the heart and soul of the sanctuary. Her days began before sunrise, tending to the animals' needs, ensuring each one received the care and attention they deserved. She was assisted by a small but dedicated team of volunteers, each with their own unique skills and passions. There was Sarah, a retired veterinarian who brought her years of experience to the sanctuary's infirmary, tending to the sick and injured with a gentle touch. There was Tom, a handyman with a heart of gold, who kept the fences repaired, the grounds maintained, and the buildings in good order. And there was Emily, a young college student with a passion for animal welfare, who spent her weekends socializing the cats, walking the dogs, and assisting with fundraising efforts. Together, they created a haven for animals in need, a place where broken spirits could heal and forgotten souls could find love. But running a sanctuary was not without its challenges. Funds were always tight, relying on donations and the occasional grant to keep the lights on and the food bowls full. There were the constant worries about overcrowding, the heartbreak of saying goodbye to animals who had found their forever homes, and the ever-present fear of losing a beloved resident to illness or old age. Yet, through it all, there was a sense of purpose, a shared commitment to making a difference in the lives of these vulnerable creatures. Every purr, every wagging tail, every tentative step towards trust was a victory, a testament to the power of compassion and the resilience of the animal spirit. Kylo, now a fixture at the sanctuary, had become an integral part of this daily rhythm. He had blossomed into a handsome young dog, his golden fur gleaming, his muscles rippling beneath his sleek coat. He was a constant source of joy and entertainment, his playful antics bringing smiles to the faces of both humans and animals alike. He continued to be a devoted companion to Jasper, the once solitary Maine Coon. They were often seen together, strolling through the sanctuary grounds, Jasper's majestic presence a stark contrast to Kylo's youthful exuberance. Their bond had deepened, a testament to the power of friendship to transcend species and heal old wounds. Kylo also remained a favorite among the other cats. He would patiently endure their playful swats and affectionate head bumps, his tail wagging in delight. He would join them in their sunbathing rituals, stretching out beside them on the warm pavement, his fur mingling with theirs. He was a gentle giant, a protector, a friend. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Kylo became a symbol of hope and renewal at Whispering Pines. He was a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is always room for joy, connection, and love. He was a testament to the enduring power of the animal spirit, a beacon of light in a world that often seemed dark and unforgiving. The quiet routine of Whispering Pines was disrupted one chilly November morning by the arrival of a battered pickup truck, its bed filled with a jumble of cages and carriers. A weary-looking woman with kind eyes and a worried frown emerged from the driver's seat. Her shoulders slumped with the weight of a heavy burden. Martha, ever vigilant for animals in need, hurried out to greet her. "Welcome to Whispering Pines," she said, her voice warm and reassuring. "How can we help you?" The woman, introducing herself as Mrs. Peterson, explained that she was a volunteer at a local animal shelter that had been overwhelmed by a recent influx of abandoned pets. "We're simply overrun," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "We've had to make some difficult decisions, and these were the ones we couldn't bear to." She trailed off, unable to finish the sentence. Martha nodded understandingly. She knew the grim reality of overcrowded shelters, the heartbreaking choices that had to be made. "Don't worry," she said gently. "We'll take good care of them." The cages were unloaded, revealing a motley crew of new residents. There were 2 scruffy kittens, barely weaned, their eyes wide with fear. There was an elderly terrier mix, his fur matted and gray, his movements slow and stiff. And then there was a pair of bonded cats, a sleek Siamese and a fluffy Persian, who clung to each other in terror. The sanctuary sprang into action. The kittens were whisked away to the infirmary for a checkup and a warm meal. The elderly dog was given a comfortable bed and a soothing bath. And the bonded pair were placed in a quiet room, away from the hustle and bustle of the main cat room, where they could slowly adjust to their new surroundings. Kylo, ever curious about newcomers, watched the proceedings with keen interest. He was particularly intrigued by the bonded pair, sensing their fear and vulnerability. He approached their room cautiously, his tail wagging gently, his eyes filled with concern. The Siamese, a wary creature with piercing blue eyes, hissed at him, her fur bristling. But the Persian, a gentle giant with a cloud of white fur, seemed less intimidated. He tentatively reached out a paw, his touch hesitant but curious. Kylo responded by gently licking the Persian's paw, offering a silent gesture of reassurance. The Persian, surprised by this unexpected kindness, relaxed slightly, his purr rumbling like a distant motor. The Siamese, observing this interaction, gradually lowered her defenses, her hissing subsiding into a low growl. Over the next few days, Kylo made it his mission to befriend the newcomers. He would sit patiently outside their room, offering a comforting presence. He would bring them small gifts, a toy mouse, a feather, a fragrant leaf. He would lie quietly beside them, his warm fur a comforting weight against their trembling bodies. Slowly, the fear began to melt away. The Persian, emboldened by Kylo's gentle nature, started venturing out of the room, exploring the sanctuary with growing confidence. The Siamese, though still wary, began to tolerate Kylo's presence, even allowing him to groom her fur occasionally. Martha, observing this transformation, marveled at Kylo's empathy and compassion. He had a gift for sensing the needs of others, for offering comfort and support without judgment. He was a true ambassador of goodwill, a furry diplomat who helped to bridge the gap between species and heal the wounds of the past. Winter descended upon Whispering Pines, bringing with it a blanket of snow and a biting wind that chilled the old farmhouse to its bones. The sanctuary, always a haven of warmth and comfort, now faced the harsh realities of the season. Food supplies dwindled, heating costs soared, and the animals, accustomed to the freedom of the outdoors, were confined to their indoor quarters for much of the day. Martha, her brow furrowed with worry, pored over the sanctuary's dwindling finances. Donations, always scarce during the holiday season, had slowed to a trickle. The unexpected influx of new animals had strained their resources, and the rising cost of heating oil threatened to deplete their reserves entirely. The staff, sensing the tension, worked tirelessly to keep the animals comfortable and content. They bundled up in layers of warm clothing, braving the cold to ensure the animals had fresh water and warm bedding. They organized indoor activities to keep the animals entertained and stimulated, creating makeshift obstacle courses for the dogs and elaborate climbing structures for the cats. Kylo, ever sensitive to the mood of his human companions, seemed to sense the growing anxiety. He became more attentive, offering a comforting presence to those who seemed burdened with worry. He would curl up at Martha's feet as she worked late into the night, his warm fur a silent offering of support. He would nudge Emily's hand with his nose as she cleaned cages, his eyes filled with concern. One particularly frigid evening, as the wind howled outside and the snow piled high against the windows, disaster struck. The old furnace, strained beyond its capacity, sputtered and died, plunging the sanctuary into an icy silence. The temperature plummeted, and the animals, accustomed to the warmth of the old farmhouse, began to shiver and huddle together for warmth. Martha, her face pale with worry, called for emergency repairs, but the repairman, overwhelmed with calls from across the county, could not promise a quick response. The staff, huddled together in the dimly lit kitchen, brainstormed solutions. They gathered blankets and towels, creating makeshift nests for the animals. They filled hot water bottles and placed them strategically throughout the rooms. But despite their efforts, the cold seeped into their bones, and fear gnawed at their hearts. Kylo, sensing the growing desperation, sprang into action. He began to herd the cats, gently nudging them towards the warmest corners of the room. He curled his body around the shivering kittens, sharing his own body heat. He even ventured outside, braving the biting wind to retrieve blankets and towels that had been left to dry on the clothesline. His actions, a testament to his loyalty and courage, inspired the staff to persevere. They worked through the night, tending to the animals, sharing stories and laughter to keep their spirits high. And as the first rays of dawn broke through the frosted windows, the repairman finally arrived, his toolbox in hand and a smile on his face. The furnace was repaired, the warmth returned to the sanctuary, and a collective sigh of relief echoed through the old farmhouse. Martha, her eyes filled with gratitude, looked at Kylo, his fur still damp from the snow, his tail wagging with pride. He had faced the challenge with courage and compassion, reminding them all of the resilience of the animal spirit and the enduring power of love in the face of adversity. News of the sanctuary's plight spread quickly through the small town nestled amongst the rolling hills. Whispering Pines had always held a special place in the hearts of the locals, a beacon of compassion in a world often driven by self-interest. Martha, with her unwavering dedication to the animals, had earned the respect and admiration of the community, and now, in their hour of need, they were ready to repay her kindness. The phone at the sanctuary began to ring off the hook, with offers of help pouring in from all corners of the town. Farmers offered surplus hay and feed for the animals. Local businesses donated blankets, towels, and pet food. A group of school children organized a bake sale, their small hands diligently crafting cookies and cupcakes, their faces beaming with the pride of making a difference. The local newspaper ran a front-page story about the sanctuary's challenges, highlighting the resilience of the animals and the unwavering dedication of the staff. The story touched the hearts of readers far and wide, and soon, donations began arriving in the mail, accompanied by heartfelt letters of support and encouragement. A local radio station organized a fundraising drive, inviting listeners to call in and pledge their support. The phones lit up, with callers sharing their own stories of animal companionship and expressing their admiration for the sanctuary's work. Even the local high school football team got involved, volunteering their time to help with chores and play with the animals. The outpouring of support was overwhelming, a testament to the power of community and the shared love for animals. Martha, her heart filled with gratitude, watched as the sanctuary was transformed into a hive of activity. Volunteers of all ages bustled about, their faces alight with enthusiasm. Children laughed and played with the dogs, their youthful energy a welcome antidote to the winter gloom. Elderly residents sat quietly with the cats, sharing stories and offering gentle strokes. Kylo, ever the social butterfly, reveled in the attention. He greeted each newcomer with a wagging tail and a playful bark, his enthusiasm infectious. He led impromptu games of chase through the snow, his joyful yelps echoing through the crisp winter air. He even charmed the most reserved of volunteers, his gentle nature and unwavering affection melting away any lingering apprehension. The sanctuary, once teetering on the brink of despair, was now filled with a renewed sense of hope. The challenges remained, but the community's support had provided a much-needed lifeline, a reminder that they were not alone in their mission. The animals, sensing the shift in energy, responded with renewed vigor, their spirits lifted by the kindness and compassion that surrounded them. As the winter days gradually gave way to the promise of spring, a sense of gratitude settled over Whispering Pines. The community's support had not only helped them weather the storm but had also strengthened the bonds that tied them together. They had faced the challenge as a united front, proving that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit, like the animal spirit, could find strength in compassion and resilience in love. Spring arrived at Whispering Pines, bringing with it a sense of renewal and hope. The snow melted away, revealing the vibrant green of new growth, and the air filled with the sweet melodies of birdsong. The sanctuary, rejuvenated by the community's support and the resilience of its inhabitants, entered a period of joyful activity. The warmer weather allowed the animals to spend more time outdoors, basking in the sunshine and enjoying the freedom of the spacious grounds. The dogs romped and played in the fields, their barks echoing through the air, while the cats stretched languidly on sun-drenched windowsills or stalked through the tall grass, their eyes gleaming with predatory instinct. Kylo, now a fully grown dog, was in his element. He had become a beloved member of the sanctuary family, his playful nature and gentle spirit a source of joy for all who encountered him. He continued to be a devoted companion to Jasper, the once solitary Maine Coon, their bond deepening with each passing season. But spring also brought with it a bittersweet reality. The time for some of the animals to move on, to find their forever homes. The sanctuary, while a haven of love and care, was ultimately a temporary refuge, a stepping stone on the journey to a permanent family. The adoption process was always a mix of emotions. There was the joy of seeing an animal find a loving home, the satisfaction of knowing they had played a part in their journey to happiness. But there was also the sadness of saying goodbye, the pang of loss that echoed through the sanctuary whenever a resident departed. One sunny afternoon, a young couple arrived at Whispering Pines, their faces alight with anticipation. They had fallen in love with Luna, the timid calico who had blossomed under Kylo's patient friendship. Luna, once fearful and withdrawn, now greeted them with a soft meow and a gentle rub against their legs. The couple, touched by her gentle nature, knew instantly that she was meant to be theirs. They filled out the adoption paperwork, their hands trembling with excitement, and promised to provide Luna with a loving home and a lifetime of cuddles. As they prepared to leave, Luna hesitated, her eyes searching for Kylo. He approached her, his tail wagging gently, and nuzzled her head, offering a silent farewell. Luna responded with a soft purr, her eyes filled with gratitude for the friendship that had helped her heal and find her forever family. The couple drove away, Luna nestled contentedly in their arms, and a wave of bittersweet emotion swept over the sanctuary. Martha, her eyes glistening with tears, watched them go, her heart filled with both joy and sadness. Kylo, sensing her mood, rested his head on her lap, offering a silent comfort. Over the next few weeks, several more animals found their forever homes. The two scruffy kittens, now healthy and playful, were adopted by a family with young children. The elderly terrier Mix, his fur now soft and clean, his tail wagging with renewed vigor, found a loving home with a retired couple who promised to spoil him rotten. Each departure brought a pang of loss, but also a sense of fulfillment. The sanctuary had fulfilled its purpose, providing a safe haven and a second chance for these deserving animals. And as the spaces emptied, new arrivals took their place, ensuring that the cycle of care and compassion continued. As the seasons turned and the years passed, Kylo matured from an exuberant puppy into a wise and gentle soul. His golden fur, once a fluffy cloud of puppyhood, now bore the subtle hints of silver around his muzzle and paws. His gait, once a boundless burst of energy, had settled into a confident stride, a reflection of his inner calm and unwavering strength. He remained a pillar of the sanctuary, a constant source of comfort and companionship for both the animals and the humans who shared his world. He had become a master at welcoming newcomers, sensing their anxieties and offering a gentle presence that eased their transition into the sanctuary's embrace. His bond with Jasper, the majestic Maine Coon, had deepened into an unspoken understanding, a testament to the enduring power of friendship that transcended species. They were often seen together, strolling through the sanctuary grounds, their contrasting figures a harmonious blend of strength and grace. Jasper, once a solitary figure, now sought out Kylo's company, finding solace in his calm presence and unwavering loyalty. Kylo's role at the sanctuary had evolved. He had become a mentor to the younger dogs, guiding them with a gentle paw and a patient spirit. He taught them the art of navigating the complex social dynamics of the sanctuary, the importance of respecting boundaries and offering support to those in need. He was also a trusted confidant to the human staff, sensing their moods and offering a comforting presence during times of stress or sadness. He would often sit quietly with Martha in her office, his head resting on her lap, his warm brown eyes offering a silent understanding that words could never express. One day, a new arrival tested Kylo's wisdom and compassion. A young German shepherd named Max arrived at the sanctuary, his spirit broken by a past filled with neglect and abuse. He cowered in the corner of his kennel, his eyes filled with fear and distrust, his body trembling with the echoes of past trauma. Kylo, sensing Max's deep-seated pain, approached him with caution and respect. He sat quietly outside the kennel, offering a non-threatening presence, his tail wagging gently, his eyes filled with empathy. He would lie down near the kennel, inviting Max to join him in a shared space of vulnerability. Days turned into weeks, and Kylo's patient persistence began to chip away at Max's defenses. He would bring Max small gifts, a favorite toy, a fragrant bone, a gentle nudge with his nose. He would invite Max to join him on walks, offering a sense of security and companionship in the vastness of the sanctuary grounds. Slowly, Max began to emerge from his shell. He would tentatively approach Kylo, his tail wagging hesitantly, his eyes searching for reassurance. He would accept Kylo's playful invitations, engaging in tentative games of chase and tug-of-war. One evening, as the sun set over the sanctuary, casting long shadows across the fields, Max did something he hadn't done since his arrival. He approached Kylo, his tail wagging with genuine enthusiasm, and licked his face, a gesture of trust and affection. Kylo, his heart swelling with pride, returned the gesture, his warm tongue offering a silent promise of friendship and protection. In that moment, a bond was forged, a testament to Kylo's unwavering compassion and the healing power of animal connection. Martha, witnessing this transformation, marveled at Kylo's wisdom and empathy. He had become a true guardian of the sanctuary, a beacon of hope for those who had known darkness, a living embodiment of the resilience of the animal spirit. Time, like the gentle flow of the river that meandered through the sanctuary grounds, continued its ceaseless journey. Seasons changed. Leaves turned from vibrant green to fiery hues of gold and crimson, then surrendered to the embrace of winter's snowy blanket. And through it all, Whispering Pines remained a steadfast haven, a testament to the enduring power of compassion and the unwavering dedication of those who tended its grounds. Kylo, now a senior dog, his muzzle frosted with the wisdom of years, had become a living legend within the sanctuary walls. His once boundless energy had mellowed into a quiet strength, his movements deliberate and graceful, his presence a calming influence on all who crossed his path. He remained a beloved companion to Jasper, their bond deepened by the shared passage of time and the countless moments of quiet companionship. They were often found curled up together in a sunny patch of the cat room, their breathing synchronized, their presence a testament to the enduring power of friendship that transcended species and age. The sanctuary had seen countless animals come and go, each leaving their unique paw print on the hearts of those who cared for them. Kittens had blossomed into playful companions, shy dogs had found their courage, and wounded spirits had discovered the healing balm of love and acceptance. Kylo, with his unwavering empathy and gentle spirit, had played a pivotal role in their journeys. He had welcomed them with open paws, offering comfort and reassurance during their transitions. He had taught them the art of navigating the sanctuary's social landscape, the importance of respecting boundaries and offering support to those in need. He had become a symbol of the sanctuary's enduring mission, a living embodiment of the compassion and resilience that defined Whispering Pines. His presence was a reminder that even in the face of hardship and loss, there was always hope, always the possibility of healing and renewal. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the sun cast long shadows across the sanctuary grounds, Martha sat beside Kylo, her hand gently stroking his silvered fur. He lay peacefully beside her, his breathing slow and steady, his eyes filled with a quiet contentment. "You've been a true blessing, Kylo," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "You've touched so many lives, brought so much joy to this place." Kylo, sensing her emotions, nuzzled his head against her hand, his tail giving a gentle thump against the ground. He had always understood the language of the heart, the unspoken connection that bound them together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and purple, a sense of peace settled over the sanctuary. The animals, sensing the shift in energy, gathered around Kylo, their presence a silent tribute to the impact he had made on their lives. Jasper, his golden eyes filled with a deep affection, curled up beside Kylo, his purr a gentle lullaby. The other cats, a mix of familiar faces and new arrivals, gathered around them, their purrs blending into a chorus of gratitude and love. The dogs, from the playful puppies to the wise elders, lay quietly nearby, their eyes fixed on Kylo, their tails giving an occasional thump against the ground in a shared moment of respect and affection. And as the stars emerged in the darkening sky, casting a gentle glow over the sanctuary, Kylo closed his eyes, his breathing slowing, his spirit slipping peacefully into the embrace of the night. He left behind a legacy of love and compassion, a testament to the enduring power of the animal spirit to heal and inspire. His memory would forever be etched in the hearts of those who had known him, a reminder that even in the face of life's inevitable transitions, the bonds of friendship and love would remain, a beacon of light guiding them through the darkness. Whispering Pines, with its legacy of compassion and its unwavering commitment to the animals in its care, would continue its mission, its spirit forever intertwined with the memory of Kylo, the dog who had taught them all the true meaning of love, loyalty, and the enduring power of connection.